Okay, hi everyone. I actually think I might know almost everyone's here tonight, but my name is Francesca Bill, and I'm the events chair of the Marin Poetry Center. And if you weren't expecting poetry, this is the time to flee. So tonight is the first reading of our season that features outside poets. We've had a couple of events that featured like our anthology reading and that sort of thing. And we have two wonderful poets who have traveled here even from out of town to read for us. So it's Michelle Bidding and I'm saying your name wrong, Eva Crucial. And sort of, she's very generous. So before we get started, I always like to plug our next two events. And so in November, we're going to have a panel event. And this is the first time I've ever hosted a panel since I became the events chair. And so I decided to start with something really tame and non-controversial. And we're going to be discussing diversity in literature. And I've asked John not to film that night, so I feel that we can actually have a real discussion without being later savaged on Facebook. And so we have really great writers who are lined up to participate in that. And it's Ron Crumb, Denisha Laveras, Susan Terrace, Amos White, and Javier Zamora is going to come. He's at Stanford right now. So it should be really fun. I'm mildly nervous, but I'm excited too. And then in December, we're going to have our annual potluck and read around. And in January, we have two local poets coming, C.J. Leon and Julia Levine. Yes. Okay, so our first reader tonight is Michelle Bidding. And I first encountered Michelle's work years ago. She won the Glimmer China Poetry Contest. And I still remember, I might cry talking, I still remember the moment standing in my kitchen. I was a mother of young children. I was taking care of a very mentally ill stepson. And I wanted desperately to write. I hadn't really written for about 9 years. And I remember reading her winning poem. And I researched her, and she's, I think of you, I know it isn't all anymore, but I think of you as a housewife, mom kind of a person like me. And so I followed Michelle's progress as she, has broken into the poetry world. This is her third book she's going to read from tonight, and so she's been really a source of inspiration for me. She also has had a difficult child to care for. So thank you for all the inspiration over the years. So I'm going to give you her official introduction. So her first collection, Good Friday Kiss, was chosen by Thomas Lux as the winner of the De Novo First Book Award. Her second collection, Notes to the Beloved, won the Sacramento Poetry Center Book Award and received a star review from Curtis Reviews. And her third collection that she's going to read from tonight is called The Couple Who Fell to Earth. It also received a starred and a featured review from Curtis, and it has, I can't remember what it's called, it's one... Yes, so Michelle's poems have been published or forthcoming in American Poetry Review, Prairie Schooner, The Paris American, Narrative, River Styx, The LA Weekly, Crab Orchard Review, Rattle, Diode, Winebreak, among many others. And her individual poems have been featured on Poetry Daily and Verse Daily, and have been nominated for Pushcart and Best of the Net prizes. She holds an MFA in Creative Writing from Pacific University, Oregon. And in addition to everything else, she's currently pursuing a PhD in Mythological Studies at Pacifica Graduate Institute. So please join me in welcoming Michelle Bidding.
Thank you so much. I love coming here. Even though I get a little lost, it's totally worth it. It's so wonderful. And it's great to be reading with Ava and Francesca. Thank you for bringing me in. So I'm going to read some poems from The Couple Who Fell to Earth, and then I'm going to read some poems from my work, my book in progress called Broken Kingdom. I'm going to start with the eponymous poem, The Couple Who Fell to Earth. We went flying without a map, as naked astronauts often do. The border layers of our bodies blended into one, an erosion of planets and vaporized stars. We hurtled through space and burned up entering. Please forgive this clumsy beauty, no more than grains of dust, moon debris, a streak of light. We land and make a circle, a cornucopia in the crop, and the heat of our hips bores down, carving a cradle, the perilous pit, the stone-fruit heart of human fire. The body loves what it loves, and we can't stop it. We become and around. We become the snake itself, the Rosetta coil, the upper room. We are flag and stigmata, the ship set sail, the smoking orifice, the holy divot and buried cup. Lips to each other's eyes, we will seal our demons in, the flowering trees and muddy gardens of our Eden-scorched mouths. Crowns tossed to the breeze, the honeycomb leaving gold, and queen's poison darts. We have watched the fountain grass, felt their glowing spines shoot through us. The mournful wheat heads made of glass trace a cross on the cistern tomb. And to think we slept through it all, though the dream kept smacking us with every surge of the sea's gold blade. We are the lion and the lamb, the tooth in the flesh, fleeting halo and silken curl, the wounded bird and coming ecstasy, this kingdom we've built till death do us part. And I'm going to read a poem titled, How Like Marriage is the Season of Flowers. And I'm not a bit like any fanatic about James Merrill, but I was reading some James Merrill, and he has a poem called Cloud Country, and the line was, how like marriage is the season of clouds, I think. So this is how like marriage is the season of flowers. Because I'd forgotten I shoved that wrinkled bulb into a slit of dubious soil last winter. Just as I'd lost sight of it, buried under a decade of rust and oil in the garage we haven't cleaned since the summer our daughter was born. Some seasons prove more hazardous than others, and one wind-thrashed night I groped for a stray cigarette from the groin atop the busted refrigerator we used to store light bulbs and toilet paper. Slipped my fingers into a filthy halo of booster seats and nursing pillows, formula bottles and plastic bathing tub, and pulled out a crumpled baggie of wolves. Now the garden gnome winks through a lattice cross of immaculate light, so smug in his weird cone hat and Santa coat, his bed of broad conceptions, stigma and stamen, the once frozen loam having cracked like an egg, the stone exterior unrolled, the barracks collapsed, and out slithered the serpent of a single red bloom, like a prisoner climbing the roof of the impossible panopticon, and lighting a match to herself becomes a flag of fire in the moon's growing lake. Good night. Death had not dominion after all. If Christ rose, no one really knows how he managed to wade through all that festering, flying from tomb to feathered clouds, do they? Beauty needs no apology. We can never explain the crumbling citadel transformed to Easter morning goodie basket, blue lace and tangerine jelly beans, nor the scary bunny heads my husband and I sometimes wore, spitting bitter carrots into the whites of each other's eyes. The garden is a Chagall guarded by worms in the vaults of subterranean ruins. The horses, delirious from so long in the desert of no water, their mouths turned to mines of glittering salt and made pictures. A woman wakes and sees a girl wandering the yard, remembers hiding treasure once and pretending to find it, as if for the first time, as if pulling a bouquet from the barrel of a hat, from slugs and dirt, the miserable bottom, your darkest places imaginable. Yep. practice and Notes to the Beloved, meditations on family, being domestic life, trying to make some sense of what's going on in the world, all those things sort of mashing up, and then this mythology that I've been studying, and yes, we'll say a little bit more about that later. But this is Lupercalia. You know what that Lupercalia? It's like an ancient Roman festival or pre-Roman where people would kind of go crazy and like do everything that they're not supposed to do normally and go wild and take off their clothes, and I think there was like wolf worship going on. Probably more like the Romulus and Remus. Anyway, this is Lupercalia, and my son is almost 20, and he's high functioning autistic. So a lot of times when I'm writing poems, he'll come in. My kids come in these strange ways, and this is just something that I've been thinking about with him and his solitude that I worry about sometimes. Lupercalia. The eyes of February are brutal. Love's sticky sentiments gumming up the air make it harder to breathe. Gilded truffles snug in their cellophane tunes, dare you to pluck them from underworlds and eat. Hearts dangle in pharmacy windows pretending to pump real bread. Brutal for a boy who feels but won't say what it is to be 16 and never one secret admirer. Never a glitter doily or silver hallmark waxed with lipstick smoky kisses. What ghost can this mother conjure? What diaphanous caress? When in Rome and if long ago, I could run naked through alleyways, my breasts swinging like fevered trolls, like devil bells bare, tolling Resident Evil. I could don a goatskin cap, carry my pot of flames to the desert, burn salted meal cakes with Vestal virgins and raise them to the stars, to dead crows and broken Caesars. But it wouldn't change the fact of his incomplete beauty, how girls turn away when he opens his mouth to speak, a sound less than smart. Won't change the fact of his gawky bust and uncommon sense, an art far too wild and no longer cradled in the cave of a darkened living room where we once rocked and he suckled, at times stopped to let glide the nipple from his mouth and look up at me, just look at me, his future, his mother and unconditional lover, his only Valentine. Okay. Anybody over here like Joni Mitchell? Raise your hand. Does anybody here know the poet? Of course. Does anybody here know? So you really got some good swag going on. The poem Lana Turner Has Collapsed. Yes. Okay, so this is a direct sort of emulation of that, and it's called Joni Mitchell Is Not Unconscious. She hasn't fallen into the coma those nasty tabloids suggest. She's alert and well and sitting up in her bed at Cedar Sinai. I was walking on the promenade in the land of palm trees and St. Monica, where sun and blue shade duke it out, wending a path between bass clef and treble, and then I saw it, Joni Mitchell in a coma, and I said, no, not her. Maybe it's true, she's been a recluse for half a century in her pink Miller mansion, Our Lady of the Spanish Canyon, where she chain smokes and is paranoid of everybody, especially the invisible parasites like colorful irritable fibers. She didn't say that. She's convinced will eat her skin, make her tear all her clothes off, and slither like wind on ceramic tiles. Who would believe aliens were camping in your private parts when there's paparazzi spying from the hydrangea everywhere you go? There is no rain in California, and I have been to Hollywood parties and done perfectly disgraceful things, but Joni Mitchell is not unconscious. She is still here in the in-between, going up and down like her melodies make us when the heart is shadows and light, and we are desperate to be forgiven. Oh, Joni, keep singing. We need that nothing gray about you. Thanks. Then the last one I'm going to read from this book is called I Don't Want a Funeral. Kind of an intense poem. So, here's you. I don't want a funeral. I've no desire to be tucked into the ordered bricks at the family columbarium. Much as I love that church with its medieval pipes, and every Easter the lunatic wisteria overrun by black bee asylums high on weeping nectar. Not even its original prayer garden that survived the big fire of '76 can sell me such burial. Not the carved statue of St. Francis, his cheek nuzzled by a tendon deer. Not the dove on his sleeve tweeting good news. Not the giant gnarled sycamores we climb like mythological squid, jungle gyms that hefted us high and away over the city. Once we snuck into the sacristy and consumed sacraments off hours. I knew where priests hid the key, and feeling for the cold nail under the sink where they leaned to brace and baptize themselves, eyes pep-talked out of weary in the chipped mirror at big game time. So many souls to boost, spirits to raise, and dead one more day. It feels almighty when it's all holy all the time. Even that naughty me and my sidekick Velma, more along for my mischievous ride, reaching for what didn't belong to us. We never drank the wine. It was the bread we were after. Fistfuls crammed against tongues, burying our teeth in a pile of hosts tasting faintly of cardboard, each stamped dead center with miniature crosses, pasty in my palm, perfect signs to match my nervous lines, life veins, fortune. I swallowed tall stacks wanting to be saved, self-service, sacrificial. We're only human, and sometimes standing in the kitchen late at night with my husband, our hands and tongues groping, grabbing whole moons of him from behind, I think of past blunders, how there's still something supernatural about hunger after so many years, and how sometimes I'd like him to fuck me in all my places at once, fingers, cock, tongue, a gymnasium of pleasure, my mouth a night lusting for unknown grail. I'll repeat, don't bury me. Not when what I want is to take it all in and zip up, disappeared. To reject marker, be marked, bound, plotted, arrested. Is it death enough of an impediment? We burn, and there's an uncontrollable fire, and then containers for ashes arrive in the mail. I'm trying to cram the Holy Ghost into my mouth, daring parents, the men in rows to catch me. Deliver me transparency, a slow wind and shift to invisible. Like Jesus and Claude Rains only showed form, bound by gauze and then unraveling. No, when I die, make a little boat and let me out, my sails set to sea, my dust launched to a red horizon. This ashen tongue will lick the sun and dissolve, remembering its place, first flesh to taste, and last to forget the bread, the cup, this body risen in light. So maybe 2 poems, some new poems? I don't know longer than some reading. Does that sound okay? Okay, so maybe 2, well, so let's, okay, because I'm tired, but alright. Rusty, you were a finalist for the Nimrod, right? So I'm going to read, and I was doing this, so I'm going to read one of those poems. I'm also going to read it because this is a poem that kind of came during these just completely whack times. And it's also where, just weird and scary and kind of, so I've been having some odd visions. And then, I grew up, as you can tell from the last poem, the whole Judeo-Christian thing is so heavy in our culture, and I certainly got my, infusion of it growing up, and I love playing with that in my poems, especially after kind of doing this heavy myth and religion, sort of world study kind of thing. So in my poems, there's some of that coming through. Anyway, this is called Artisanal Baptismal. At dawn, the sea fell back to an acceptable level, the water forming a wall around us, the dead on the shore lined up, swaying to the right, tambourines and dancing to the left. We knew we'd be needing more of it before the last heavy bird had his way, beak to carrion, the running fish, silent, shocked, and silvery. The choir was there in the darkness, a flame to lean into. The singers in stitched red cassocks, the pit and giant organ, amid a tower behind us. We were sweating our songs out, little balls of wetness trembling inside our blouses. I sang to the upright human candles, pillars of fire and smoke, and pledged to stand solid atop crumbling vestiges, dividing parties, gods and waves overwhelming the congregants. How fast they could run in sandals back then. Clutching our newborn baby heads, pigskin balls passed over. We sprinted for the line, birthed ourselves through collapsing superstructures, lips shuddering apart, and felt the spirit move. Our tears mixed with prayed over waters. If the dunking and kiss of clove-laced oil made us cry, caressing our bony crowns, no, it only meant we were born with the devil already in us, pathogens we'd grown our own immunity to, a community garden, worms, pestilence, the sin of leaves decaying, acidic stenches, rotting citrus, the sodded compost, a suicide we embraced, strapped to our chests, dive-bombing alone 1,000 leagues down, where the group hug ignited, sparking green, so the parachute could open, rainbow wounds in trepid bloom, shape of a flower, and offered by hand to the most delicate, endangered youth. Okay, so this poem, two poems I'm going to read. An hour north of Levine, California. This is sort of a memory of my father and myself. A difficult relationship. Who remembers where we stopped for jars of orange neon cheese and the tangled black knots of faux flies my father taught me to thread, hooks that pierce the lips of bright trout skimming lagoons in the craggy high Sierras. I remember ghost lines cast in blue nothingness we watched dissolve in the lake's dark bottom. What did we say to each other side by side, swaying in the wooden dish? Or was it just the music of the wind in trees parting ash-white branches, the aspen banter? Why don't I remember reeling with the rush of my glittering first catch, the zagging colors cinched? I think it's come to the moment he showed me how to haul a fat fish up, how to grasp it tight in my girlish hand, the wriggling slickness releasing life on my nervous palm as I raised it high above me and in one grand swoop brought the stunned head down against our boat's iron edge. A gavel felled, a verdict delivered, setting those wide round eyes to stillness. I can be as cruel as you, I wanted to say, with pride, but didn't, and still don't. It's enough to think of it now, enough to toss it back, to let that ugly beauty go. And that poem I just found out before I came here is up for something, so that's nice. It's got a lot of rejections. Okay, last poem. So this is gonna just pick up my another image of my son, and I read that funeral poem at a salon recently where I read with another sculptor, and afterwards in the hubbub he said that funeral poem, oh my God, like you've got to read it. You ever such an accent, it was very loud. He said, I heard George Bernard Shaw a letter about his mother being cremated, and you have to read it. And so a couple weeks later, which was just this past week, I was thinking about that, and my brother, who committed suicide over 20 years ago and was an amazing painter, he has recently kind of re-emerged. I mean, it's wild, and it's actually the anniversary of his death this week, actually yesterday and today. So he's suddenly, his work is being noticed by Yale, and then somebody at the reading had a tape of him reading on XLU 20 years ago, so I heard my brother's voice for the first time in 20 years. Anyway, so all of this goes into this poem that I'm really happy about, and it's called I Went Behind the Scenes and Found the Violet Coffin, and that's a line from George Bernard Shaw's piece. Actually, it was an old red shoebox mined from the cave of a musty closet, and my son stood by as I lit a stub of sage over the puffed pink breast of the dead robin he found, supine and stiff on the backyard brick. Had it fallen from the purple crown of a nearby jacaranda? Maybe it was that shadow of a hawk I'd seen circling, eyeing nests clustered high in the arms of the eucalyptus. The roaring, feathery draft, honing in on heat and noise. Some think it strange that Shaw watched the remains of his mother being burned, but if it were me, my bones, I wouldn't mind. Others making a moment of it, the materia, the fire of life forcing change. The way mothering this void has worn us both to something precious that glints, if a bit battered around the edges, like a favored antique spoon reached for from the drawer of all others. The door of the furnace is wonderful. It looked cool, clean, sunny, though no sun could get there. Nails and ashes and samples of bone. My son wants to see into it, the bird, its stopped clockwork, the real thing. People are afraid, but it is beautiful. Shaw laughed and felt his mother laughing right behind him, her feet to the flame, bursting miraculously into ribbons of streaming smokeless scarlet. Sifting dust, the hours, my son and I inspect death. Little tongues in our hands, little handles without misgiving. Scattering ourselves eagerly across the garden, sudden wings and the shadow of a bird passing over, sweeping us up into its sieve as if to say,